RBT family, what is the deal? It's your dog Willie Jack, and we are back, baby, back with more NFL action. How's everybody doing? How you feeling? NFL Week 7 is here. We are about a little shy of 2 hours from standard kickoff time, 12 p.m. Central my time if you live my way. But we do have football this early morning. The Los Angeles Rams are at halftime now against the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. And honestly, it's a pretty one-sided affair. You know what? Go ahead and put it on the board for everyone. But Rams going to halftime with a commanding lead, 21-0. The Jaguars have had a couple opportunities in this game. They just haven't capitalized. Most notably, they had a punt return for touchdown that was called back because of penalty. And then on that same drive, they end up stalling, but they do get into reasonable field goal range. It's a 49 or 50-yard field goal. They missed that wide left. So that drive that had the touchdown called back ends up turning up no points at all. And I think just here shy before half, they maybe could have took a chance to get another field goal here shortly before half. They go for it on 4th and 7. Trevor Lawrence scrambles out left and does get tackled short. And so they go into half with no points. But this one, for all intents and purposes, I mean, pretty much in the books there. But we do have tons and tons and tons of football news to discuss. Tons of excellent games today. Tons of great matchups. More than a few I cannot wait to watch for sure. Now, also, y'all know what's going on, man. All right? Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know why we here, okay? Don't forget, same program. I see a couple of y'all in the building. Go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button for your dog if you haven't already. Drop something in the chat. Say what's up to your dog. And we're going to go ahead and get the show rolling. Matter of fact, let me see. Oh, okay, we got Mondus in the building. First one in the chat. Good morning, Big Nation Business. Big Nation family, have an awesome show as always. Wishing everybody a happy Sunday. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then, here we go. And then actually, while everybody's getting settled, getting yourself together, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I hate to have to do it. It be your own. I hate to have to do this. But we got to talk about what happened Thursday night, Steelers Nation. We've got to talk about what happened on Thursday night, Steelers Nation. Now, usually I don't do this, all right? I try not to air our laundry out to the masses, okay? Hold on, let me make sure. No, that's a little much. That's a little much. Now, usually, try not to do this. I still just don't like what we're looking at. Here we go. Like I said, Thursday night there's no other way to describe it, honestly. And I don't want to oversell it as well, because it's not the end of the season. All right, we went into that game first in division, and we left that game, regardless of outcome, first in division, which means our destiny is still in our hands, one way or the other. So I don't want to oversell it. But Thursday night was more than just enough. It was definitely a lot. I mean, it was. I'm at a loss for words. Okay, I'm at a loss for. There's no other way to explain. We fumbled a massive opportunity. We fumbled a massive opportunity, to say the least. We win that game, and I think we have a 2.5 or 3 game lead on second place in division. And now instead, by losing that game Thursday night, now I think we only have a game. We're only a game and a half up. And now that's important. Now the division as a whole doesn't look great, right? We know the struggling Ravens. What are they? 1-4, 1-5, somewhere along the lines. The Bengals, who have also been struggling, and we're on the precipice of possible collapse before Andrew Berry sends Elite Joe Flacco across state, but we'll get to that. But the Bengals, I think, were still 2-3, and we were sitting there at 4-1, sitting pretty, looking to stretch that lead. And so now, I think the Bengals are now 3-3. Ravens and Browns are still the Ravens and Browns, but Lamar is eventually coming back, and the Browns are still brown. But we just made the journey that much tougher, way tougher than it has to be. Now, not to say that we still can't finish the job, because we can. But I'm telling you, we really, one step forward, 3 steps back. It was more than 2. This was 3 steps back. It really was. It really was. And getting into the game itself, I mean, I don't know where to start. No, you know, we'll just start. Elite Joe Flacco. I don't know if a lot of y'all remember Prime Joe Flacco, when it was time for Prime Joe Flacco to get paid. And this is before the explosion of like NFL salaries that we see today, right? Dak Prescott's making $60 million a year. This is before those days. These are the days where guys were fighting and clawing and scratching, trying to get to 30, right? And this is the quarterbacks. And so it was time for Joe Flacco to get paid. He had flashes of success with those early Ravens teams, but got over the hump, hadn't won the big one. My Steelers, thanks in no small part to my Steelers, I should say. And so in his contract year, goes into that year without a deal, and him and the front office of the Ravens have the understanding, like, this is going to be a put up or shut up year. Go get it done, Joe, and we'll give you that blank check. Or if it's more of the same, then, you know, we'll both make a decision. You know what I'm saying? We'll either you'll go in a different direction or we will, or, you know, we'll offer you a middling style of contract if that's what you've shown to be. Joe Flacco puts his money where his mouth is, goes out there, has a fantastic year, or more importantly, right, a fantastic playoff run, culminating with, of course, a memorable Super Bowl victory against the San Francisco 49ers in the infamous Lights Out Bowl, where the Ravens are actually in pretty firm. No, not the Ravens. Who was in control of that game before the lights went out? Now I'm trying to remember. Be that as it may, right? Game was I want to say it was the Ravens who were in pretty good control. The lights went out. And then there was a large 30 or even 40-minute delay for some reason until they were able to rectify the issues with the lights or the power in the stadium. We come back out post that stoppage, and it's a different ball game, man. That ball game definitely tightens back up. The Niners, I believe, they definitely get going and get back into that game. And then this one still came down to a last-minute stand or an incomplete pass in the right end zone from Colin Kaepernick to Michael Crabtree. So, I mean, this game was definitely in the balance and up until that point, I guess. But long story short, Joe Flacco comes through. He gets his ring. He gets his ring in his contract year. And then true to form, shout out to the Ravens as well, because they still could have backed off of it, or they still could have, played around with them. But they said, no, fair is fair. A deal is a deal. We told you go get it done. And Elite Joe Flacco went and got it done, and they cashed him out. And so, but there was always that conversation. And then that still didn't stop that conversation, because we did see more or less Joe Flacco kind of return back to norm, right? Return back to where he was, which was a very capable quarterback, but maybe not a top of the line game-changing style of guy. But anyway, is Joe Flacco elite? That was definitely a topic at the time for quite a while. Well, we saw the return of Elite Joe Flacco Thursday night. All right, we saw the return of Elite Joe Flacco. The man was dicing. The man was slicing and dicing. The man was dealing. The man was willing and dealing. All right, and I had to say willing and dealing. It got to the point he's feeling so good. I know I'm jumping ahead, but we get, what is it? I think this is in the fourth quarter. Steelers are looking to get off the field, and then there's just a zone right. Alex Highsmith, he's coming off the backside, flat down the line. As you talk, I was a backside edge rush guy myself, so I know exactly what's going on. I get 2 downs away, I'm flying. You know what I mean? I'm flying, and I am looking for a car crash at the line of scrimmage somewhere around the C gap when I run into the running back. So this is what's going on, and we've seen Alex Highsmith make those style plays, right? Even in this limited time since he's been dealing with injury. Flacco, and in the post game, he talked about it. He's like, no, man, that wasn't an RPO. That was a handoff all the way. He's like, man, I see Alex Highsmith plays dead. Alex Highsmith is imminent. Alex Highsmith is going to meet this at the catch point or close enough. Joe Flacco improvises on the spot, keeps it, naked boot out left, and then scrambles for about 13 yards, picking up a crucial first down. I say, damn. When it happened, I said, how? Oh, my God, how? But then at the same time, honestly, I'll tell you what it put me in the mind of and why there was a lot of plays that I was upset about in that game. That play in particular, I just had to give it to him. I wasn't too upset about that one because it made me think about was this 2013 Peyton Manning with the Broncos on a naked bootleg. It may have been his first or the longest touchdown run of his career, I believe, but I think it was only like 4 yards. And so it's a goal line naked bootleg keeper for Peyton Manning, boots out left and walks into the end zone because 60,000 people in attendance in this. Nobody could have imagined that a damn near 40-year-old Peyton Manning is going to run a naked bootleg, especially down on the goal line or anywhere. So yeah, it was wide open. In this same breath, all right, Joe Flacco, who was decided by Cleveland that he's not a good enough quarterback to not only keep on a roster that doesn't have an answer at quarterback, but not only that, you will trade him to a team in your division, trade him to your cross-state rival because of to show or express your true feelings and thoughts about Joe Flacco. So nobody could have or would have imagined that would be the play. So I'm not mad about that one. I'm really that one didn't bother me. I was like, you know what? Hey, kudos to you, Joe. Shout out to you, man. Turn back that clock. Tell them boys you still got game left in you, and go out there and make a play, man. So kudos to Joe for that one. I wasn't mad about that one. But then also, Joe Flacco's performance in that game, I think he ended up going for roughly 350. I want to say, or just thereabouts, roughly 350, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think he only had the 1 sack that came pretty early in that game. And then outside of that, he did a fantastic job of getting the ball out quick. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. They definitely got the ball out quick. And then also the offensive line's run blocking as well. Chase Brown had one of the better games of his young career. In a season in which I don't know if the boys ran for 60 yards in a game all year, I think their running game, their running game as a whole has averaged less than 4 yards a carry. I want to say they were somewhere around 3, maybe even under 3. I mean, it was ugly. Chase Brown has a fantastic day. I think he averaged 10 yards per touch, right? And so offense for Cincinnati is definitely was definitely rolling. And when our defense couldn't do anything to stop it, man, I think 2 things I want to say about that. And A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers, he ended up playing, I'm not going to call it an excellent game because I'm not going to overlook those 2 turnovers that happened. And I really feel like that really did a lot to get that Cincinnati offense rolling. And once they got rolling, man, it was an avalanche downhill. Because when the Steelers came out in this game, we go right down the field. Now we stall, we get a 3. Then we get a stop, we go right back down the field again, and then we get a 7. So it's 10-0 right out the gate. We get another stop. It's 10-0. And then A-Rod came out in this one, man. I think I don't necessarily fault him for it. Like, this is a game to be aggressive. It's a weak matchup on paper. We got to remember we play this game on grass, but it's a very weak matchup on paper, and this was a chance to deal a death blow to a division opponent, and then also, like I said, continue to just stretch our own lead in division and really give ourselves a lot more leeway throughout the rest of the body of this season. And so A-Rod came out there to swinging for the fences, man. He definitely did. He had knockout on his mind from round 1, and that 1-2. So that third possession drive, we're relatively midfield. He dials one up, takes a deep shot to DK up the left sideline. DK, and this is in kudos to Cincinnati, they didn't feel any type of ways about it. They didn't have any qualms about it. DK was going to be doubled, essentially, right? So they kept a safety over the top of DK when he was lined up outside more times than not. And that safety, I mean, he was – so when you're in too high, and I'm trying not to get too technical. When you're in too high, generally both safeties are going to be somewhere 15 to 18 yards off the ball. Both of them are normally going to be inside the numbers, but then they are, splitting halves of the field. Well, whatever safety was to DK Metcalf's side when he was lined up outside, he's on splitting or even on the outside number in his alignment, and then he's getting over there. You know what I mean? So they were really conscious of A-Rod and DK dialing it up down the field. And this play, this play showed that, man. So A-Rod, I think, puts it up, maybe thinking he's going to get, I'm not even going to say it was going to be a hole shot, man, because there was a little error on this one because they hung up a little bit. But long story short, Jordan Battle comes down with gets the big interception. And then we have a huge run back. I want to say he ran that thing back about 40 yards before he got tackled. Now, thankfully, DK touched him down. But at the time, it was looking like that was going to be not only a field flip, right? I think they pick it off on the 20. Then he runs it back to a roughly their own 30 or 40. I mean, it was a massive swing. Now, upon review, he did get touched down by DK, so they take over the ball at the 20-25. So essentially, it's an arm punt, which softens the blow a little bit. But defense comes out there and continues. I'm not gonna curse on this Sunday morning. Defense goes out there and lays another egg, man. And we really, I think that drive, that turn of events right there on a short week at a division opponent in their house, a team that's desperate, eager for any type of spark. That team, offensively and morale-wise, they're tinderbox, man. They need any spark to turn into a fire. And and it really feels to me that play was the one, man, because that drive, they go right down, they get on the board, and then what do? We get the ball, offense is moving down again, and then we get the second interception, man. We get the second interception, that same left sideline. A-Rod, it looks like it's too high, and so A-Rod now looks like he's gonna throw a ball, and here's what I'll say about that pass, because I didn't like it live, and I've seen commentary about that play and about that pass and this location, and I've seen all the things, right? I've seen all the things, and so my critique of the play, it isn't that it wasn't a quality pass, but if you get a good attempt on basket, doesn't mean you took a good shot. That's what I'm saying. Man, that's a bar too, man. I don't know if y'all caught that. Just because you had a good attempt at the basket doesn't mean you took a good shot. You know what I mean? You may be wide open from 35 feet away. You may shoot that and hit the rim. That doesn't mean you took a good shot. That's how I feel about that play. Because it was a good ball. It was a good ball, man. It had nice velo, right? It was right on his face mask, back shoulder style action. And it's meant to beat the safety who's coming across. Well, now, like I already told you how they were playing DK this game, the safety to his side was cheating. So he's, instead of being 15 and off the numbers, he's probably closer to, maybe he's even closer to 12, but he's at or outside the numbers already. And so he's getting there. And then the play itself, I know DK took it on the chin and said, man, I got to hold on to the ball, because he did catch the ball. He had the ball in his hands. He did. But man, he had the ball in his hands. He's got DJ Turner, who played a fantastic game by the Bengals. He's got him right in hip, fighting and jostling for that ball. And at the same time, we get that near side safety coming and delivering a hit. I mean, so that's a lot. I don't want to just say DK just dropped one and just let that be the excuse for how that play turned out. Like, nah, man. A-Rod forced one. He got it there, but he forced one, man. A pass we just didn't have to take. He didn't have to let that one go. He didn't. And now also hindsight being 2020 and getting to go back and watch these things and all 22 and getting to watch them slow down and et cetera, et cetera. And so when you go back and look at the game film, if you into that sort of thing, you know what I mean? You'll see Roman Wilson coming through on a shallow under, and he's going to have 15, 20 yards in front of him once he catches and runs and turns up. You know what I mean? No, that's probably conservative, man. 15, 20 yards to catch a run, turning up. But also, you got to do these things in context, man. So where he's at in the progression, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So I don't want to fault him for that. But that's one it feels like we didn't have to have. You know what I mean? The first one, the deep shot to DK, a little bit of a heat check, right? We came out, we're rolling, two possessions, 2 scoring drives. Maybe we can get a death blow here when we see our guy, $30 million man, one-on-one outside and press. Like, I want to take that matchup as well. But be that as it may, man, that second turnover. Cincinnati does the right thing as well. They put 7 on that one as well. So now we've got 2 turnovers that yielded for an otherwise game in which the Bengals were held scoreless. And so now we're down in this game because now it's 14-10. And then honestly, no, it feels like we played a little catch up there for the most part. Because I want to say the Bengals go back, return the ball again. Our offense stalls. They go back down. They get another field goal. We go a little back and forth. But those 2 plays early on, man, I think that really it was the spark that got the Bengals going. Now, game's not over, right? There's still tons of game left at this point, and the defense never got it going. In fairness. And then A-Rod in that offense, they do get back on track, and we do find our footing, and we get back in this game. And not only get back in the game, we find a way to come back and end up taking the lead in this game inside of 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. And it's the old the old cliche that we scored too quick. We get the ball back. Defense does get one of those. Defense does get one of those. A stop and get the ball back for us, which were few and far in between. It wasn't a 3 and out, but it was a 6 and out. All right, they get a first down. Then we stop on the second series. We get the ball back. It's 2 minutes and 46 seconds left. I remember it like it's clockwork. It's 2:46 left. We got 2 or 3 timeouts, and we got the 2 minute warning. No, we had 2 timeouts and the 2 minute warning. 2:46. Like, this is it. This is the ball game. I had no doubts we were going to score. I was like, okay, yeah, this is perfect. They got 30. I think at the time, no, it was 20. Yeah, it was 24-30. So I'm like, oh, yeah, we go down the field. We win this ball game 31-30. We get out the building. Well, we end up scoring in 2 plays, man. We end up scoring in 2 plays. A-Rod scrambles. He finds Pat Freiermuth downfield for like a 35-ish yard completion. And then Pat Freiermuth, shout out to Move, he does the rest of the work with his legs and rumbles to the end zone, making it I think it was like a 65 or 68 yard catch and run touchdown, which is awesome. Then we hit the extra point. We take the lead 31-30. But all told, man, we took less than 30 seconds off the clock, which means we're giving the ball back to Cincinnati on the plus side of the 2 minute warning at home. And they also, I think, had 2 touchdowns themselves. And so that was troublesome. But then again, this is why we still play the game. Defense had a chance to stand up and beat some heroes to redeem themselves from getting cooked all day. And what do we do in the second play? We have a coverage bust. We leave Jamar Chase wide open on a shallow drag. He catches and runs 20 yards later, and now they're 2 plays in, and they're right there cooking. They're right there in relative field goal range. So it was a rough night for your dog, man. Thursday night was a rough one for your dog, but be that as it may, it is what it is. Kudos, congratulations, shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals, and more importantly, man, shout out to Joe Flacco. They done wrote you off a couple times, big dog. They done wrote you off a couple times, and you ain't right back, man. Shout out to Gino, but you ain't right. Gino writing back now. Gino been writing back here lately, man. In 2025, Gino, it's all good. But Joe Flacco said, I ain't writing back, man. All right? They wrote him off, 3 years ago? Cleveland brought him in off his couch. He went on a run, got him to the playoffs. They get spanked by my dog Times Texans, but he showed he still had the goods. And then they let him go. He goes to Indianapolis, has a couple moments in the sun there in Indianapolis against my Steelers as well. Damn Joe Flacco. And then now again he goes back to Cleveland. Cleveland writes him off a second time, and they did it for Dylan Gabriel. Wrote him off to the extent that, like, you know what, man, take your ass across the street. Go ahead and go to Cincinnati. Go ahead. I know they're a division rival. I know they're in the same state, even at that. I know they need a quarterback, even at that. Go ahead, go over there. We ain't worried about you. And then what's he do, man? What's he do? Goes in there and has a historic game against my Steelers, man. So kudos and shout out to Joe Flacco. Let me see what's going on in this chat. I think it's a couple of more y'all that dropped in the building. What we got going on? Let's see. Sis in the building said, good morning. Let's go. Let's get it going, man. Let's get it going. Hey, my dog Time up early this Sunday morning, man, letting y'all know that the Texans is still going to the Super Bowl, man. Shout out to my dog Terrible Time, man. Holding it down for them Houston Texans. Sis talking about that Steelers game said, yeah, a bunch of unnecessary mistakes. And honestly, the biggest mistake, I think overconfidence. The biggest mistake, overconfidence. And the thing about it is that the Cincinnati Bengals in particular, like, trying to match up to their offensive firepower, namely those receivers, right? T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So they were at that matchup. This game was in the forefront of Coach Tomlin and our GM Omar Khan's mind when we made the moves that we made. You know what I'm saying? When we made the moves that we made in the offseason, it was in preparation for this matchup, right? So we drafted for Baltimore. We signed free agents for Cincinnati. And I'm going to explain to y'all why I say that, right? The 2 biggest additions to this team in the offseason, 3, but on the defensive side of the ball, Darius Slay, big play Slay, and Jalen Ramsey, specifically to add firepower to that secondary so that we can handle these style of tier 1 premium matchups when we face a guy like a Jamar Chase with a sidekick as strong as T. Higgins is, right? And presumably when they're going to have Joe Burrow. This is the wrong Joe, man. They had the wrong cool Joe out there, slicing and dicing, wheeling and dealing. And so that was that. And then in the draft, what did we do? We got bigger in the draft, man. We go get we drafted 3D linemen in this draft to tee up and be able to run it back with the Ravens, right? Because in the playoff game, the Ravens, I think Derrick Henry ran for over 200 yards. He averaged like 9 yards a carry, right? We had Chase Brown from the Bengals with the same style of effectiveness and dominant run play that Derrick Henry had. Chase Brown ate us up like Derrick Henry did, man. He averaged 9 or 10 yards a touch. So we added 3 defensive linemen: Derek Harmon, Y.A. Black, and Jack Sawyer. You know what I'm saying? It's 1,000 pounds of D linemen we just drafted right there, right? For the Ravens. So we drafted for the Ravens. We went free agent for the Bengals. And thus far, we 0 for 1. Because, look, like I said, overconfidence, man. Jalen Ramsey and Big Play Slate, those are excellent names for sure. Both those guys are on the wrong side of the hill, though, man. And I'm going to say that respectfully because I think they still do have game. But these aren't the guys that can necessarily still just line up and go toe-to-toe with the tier 1 guys that are still in their prime in the league. They both still got good ball in them. I don't have no doubts. I do feel good about that. Jalen Ramsey, before this game, man, I thought Jalen Ramsey was going to start creeping up on a Defensive Player of the Year style run. The style of impact he's making, man. He's got two interceptions, 2 sacks on the year, a forced fumble. You know what I mean? And so he would have had a fumble return for a touchdown and ended up getting called back in our own London game against the Vikings. So he's making his presence felt, highlight plays and otherwise, and he's been a godsend, man. For the most part, he's playing 4 positions. He's playing all 4 positions in the secondary. It was looking that way. Well, then I think, like I said, this is where the overconfidence comes into play, right? Because Jalen Ramsey is still a fantastic player. And matter of fact, shout out to my dog Chop, man. My dog Chop, we messaged a little bit about it because Chop's always had a slight, not grudge. My dog Chop has always had a slight gripe against Jalen Ramsey for whatever reason. And this is dating back to when he was with the Jaguars. It's like he couldn't wait to text you. I see what I told you about your boy Ramsey? Like, dog, he's 31. He's 31. Well, he's going to be 32. So he's 31 years old, man, as a corner, right? As a corner. Jamar Chase is what, 26? He's in the heart of his prime? Like, man, that's a tough ask. That's a tough ask, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But no, man, Jamar Chase cooked, man. He did flat out. And we couldn't do nothing with him. And also, but a lot of that is Flacco. Because I think they only average 2.2 seconds per pass attempt. So, I mean, if you're at 2.2, if you're sub 2.3, it's very hard to get sacks sub 2.3. And matter of fact, my dog Tom in here, man, he know what I'm talking about. Like, bro, like, it's the court, like, you have to have time to get there. If you're getting the ball out sub 2.3, it don't matter who's on the other side, dog. TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward. If the quarterback can get the ball out sub 2.3, dog, it's a long day for everybody. And that's what they was able to do. You know what I mean? Like, in zone, Flacco, he's old enough, he's savvy enough, he still got the talent, he still got that arm, right? So in zone, he can pick apart the zone. He can see through the disguises, right? And then in man, Jamar Chase is just beating his man one-on-one. And T. Higgins beating his man one-on-one. So what's left? There's only 2 defenses. Man and zone. We can dress them up. We can dress them up in different ways, but there's 2. You playing man or you playing zone, dog. Everything else is covering. Everything else is icing. Everything else is decoration. Everything else is curtains. Curtains and drapes. The ceiling or the roof. Zone or man, dog. Zone or man. Ceiling, roof. Everything else is fun. Everything else is optional, right? So if Flacco's picking apart the zone and the men on men are winning those, then what can you do? You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a rough one for you, dog, man. It was rough for you, dog. But the season ain't over. Season ain't over. Let me move on, man. Don't bring up bad memories, man. What else is going on? My sis said, "What's up?" The Tom in the building this morning. Tom also says hello. Hey, my dog Ty said the defense ain't the Texas defense. That's why. I tell you what, now I ain't gonna lie. I do like y'all defense. I ain't gonna hate, man. I was wrong on Will Anderson Jr., so I apologize to him every time he comes up, man. Because I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think the player he is now. He's a much better player, I think, than he was a good player at Alabama. I didn't think it was this good. I think in Alabama, man, it was a lot of setups. It was a lot of he was the guy getting picked on the stunt. You know what I mean? He was the guy that was the extra blitzer on an overload blitz. It was a lot of plays like that. I didn't feel like I seen him just win a lot of one-on-one fades. Now, he's winning them now, though, boy. He got to Houston. Shout out to D'Amico Ryans, man. as well for knowing what it takes to get the best out of guys. But yeah, he's out there. He's out there dominant, man. Then Danielle Hunter is what? Danielle Hunter's never. I never understood why Danielle Hunter. I don't understand why the Vikings would let him go. Like I never understood. Danielle Hunter's one of these guys, man, that just always produces and never really gets enough. I don't know. Doesn't get enough recognition. That's why I don't understand why he was let go. When you got a young pass rusher, Danielle Hunter, they drafted him. They developed him because he was a mid-round guy at LSU. He was very raw. He comes in, he develops, he produces. And then they let him out the building, man. So I don't get that stuff. But nah, then like I said, that secondary, man, I like what y'all got going on, Tom. I can't lie. Hey, man, come on, hey, man, you know, yeah, man, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, I appreciate you. You damn right, it's a good shirt. Yeah, you damn right. You know what? Hey, you my dog. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. Shout out to my dogs. Man. Shout out to my dogs for sure. But yeah, man, we gonna get to some of these games for sure. Let me see, man. Y'all know we came. Y'all know why we here. All right. Y'all know what we came to do. Week 7 is underway. And you know what? That Rams and Jaguars game just went to commercial break. So when it gets back, man, I'll give us a live update. Here we go. Okay. So it's midway through the third quarter. It's still 21-0. The Rams just punted to the Jaguars. There's going to be a kick catch interference call against the Rams. It should have been. I guess they reviewed it. All right. Okay. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But it's all good. Ooh, wait a minute. Trevor Lawrence up top from his own end zone. 50-yard pass play on first down to De'Ami Brown. But he's a little slow getting up. But I'm happy to see that for Jacksonville. Not because I care much about Jacksonville Trevor Lawrence, but I hate when we see just flat out bad calls. I don't know how Jacksonville didn't get that daggone kick catch interference when the Rams guy's chest to chest with him like this while he's fair catching the ball. They rubbing chests. Like, throw the flag, dog. You supposed to get a 2-yard, I think it's a 2-yard halo. Miles time or somebody let me know. On a fair catch, don't you get a 2-yard halo? Right? Or even a 1-yard halo? You get some type of halo. So I don't give a damn if he didn't hit him forcefully. They rubbed nipples. It was chest to chest, dog. I don't know how else to tell y'all. And they didn't get the call. So then on the first play, backed up inside your own 9, what do? You dial one up top, man. So I love it. And then they got the completion, but De'Ami Brown is down, man. I think his foot in, his leg might have got twisted as he went down on the turf there in London. But we'll see what happens. But maybe this is the spark that can get them going, man. 21-0 in the first half. You got a whole half to try to turn that around, Trevor Lawrence. So let's see what you got. But getting into today's games, who's first up on the slate? Matter of fact, come on, man. And you know what? Y'all slipping. I caught myself. I said, wait a minute. I was finna go make sure I didn't miss nothing in the chat. And I was like, damn, why ain't the chat on the screen? Oh, yeah. No, my dog Keandre sleeping in didn't remind me to put the chat up. But I got y'all today. I got y'all. We only 35 minutes in and I got it today. So I know sometimes we be waiting on the chat for about an hour and a half. About 30 minutes in today. So I got y'all. We're going to get to the first game on the docket. New Orleans on the road at Chicago. Give me Chicago in this one, 24-19. Now, here's the thing about it, man. The Saints still got a lot of – they're not going to win a lot of games, but the more and more I see them play, man, like I'm very happy for Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler's been playing pretty well for his second year, first year as the full-time starter, I guess, out the door. But he's playing very well. He's playing pretty good, man, considering what they have going on as far as just the talent, etc. So he is playing pretty well. But I don't expect him to beat Chicago in Chicago later on today. Shout out to Ben Johnson, man. Ben Johnson looks like he's on the verge of, or he's in the works of cracking that Caleb Williams code, man. That offense is putting up points, and they're playing better and better week over week. That defense is still playing pretty stout as well. So I'll take Chicago in this one, 24-19. Then also, if you're new here, right? First off, Hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Highlight the three amigos. Y'all know what's going on. But drop something in the chat. And then also, if you have a prediction on the game, put it in the chat as well, because we're going to be sure to put you on the board and we'll talk about it. Let's see. Moving on. We've got Miami at Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland in this one, man. I'm taking Cleveland 20-17 on the strength of that defense. Tua Tagovailoa calling his teammates out in the press last week. Can't bode well. And like, this is a Miami Dolphins team, man. I've been saying it now, I think, since week 2. They got blew out week 1 against Indianapolis. Now, it's before we all knew that Indianapolis was actually going to be pretty decent, pretty solid this year. It's before we figured that part out. But still, man, they got spanked pretty good. And now you're without Tyreek Hill. Tua has lost that locker room. Mike McDaniels has lost that locker room. Along with he lost that locker room. I don't know if anybody really doesn't feel like there's any respect for the leaders of the organization. I'm talking the head coach and the quarterback of the team. And so it's hard for me to put much faith in what you got going on, especially when you're going to go and face a defense like that Cleveland Browns defense. And then also Quinshon Judkins has been running the ball very well outside of that game against my Steelers. But other than that, I think this is one that Dillon Gabriel probably gets his first career win, namely on the strength of that defense and that running game. And I want to see, man, Tua, especially after the week you've had, calling guys out. Tua, you got to show up, man. Tua Tagovailoa, you can't be out here calling out teammates, pointing a lot of fingers at a lot of other places. You better come out here and deliver, boy. I'm going to tell you right now, because you come out here with another 2 or 3 turnover game, and like I said, nothing's going to be off limits. Because you did a lot of talking last week. I wonder if some of those guys in the locker room are maybe ready to talk about you, especially if you go out here and lay an egg today. So there's a lot of pressure on Tua to go out there and bigger than play well. They got to win. You know what I mean? This is the game they need to win. So we'll see what happens. Moving on, New Orleans on the road against Tennessee. This is Mike Vrabel's revenge. Homecoming of sorts. Mike Vrabel, who was a longtime player and captain for the Patriots, came up in that coaching tree under Belichick and those guys, got his first head coach opportunity when he went and took over the Tennessee Titans. And he had a lot of success there, man. And so with guys like Artie Smith, who's my offense coordinator now, but the legend of King Henry was born under Mike Vrabel's leadership in Tennessee, right? Ryan Tannehill revived his career. We forget about, that's the name I ain't heard in a while. Ryan Tannehill revives his career. He's a Pro Bowler, got that team a number one, led them to the number 1 seed, a couple playoff appearances. So Mike Vrabel did a lot of good in Tennessee. A.J. Brown, he was the coach that brought in A.J. Brown and helped get him to the place where he could be a valuable asset to a team like Philadelphia, right? Went to bat for A.J. Brown behind the scenes with the front office, and then end up losing that battle, right? We see Tennessee trade A.J. Brown, and they ain't been sugar honey iced tea ever since, right? And then Vrabel, of course, leaves that building. So now he gets to go back home. And I expect him to put on, man. Now, for one, just talent-wise, this Patriots team is obviously more talented than this young and underdeveloped Tennessee Titans team for sure. Vrabel's got a little bit on his mind, man, so I'm sure he's not pulling no punches anyway. But plus, I do think that this Drake May-led young offense is rolling, man. They're playing good. Drake May's another guy. Shout out to Boyle Anderson Jr. Drake May's another guy, man. I owe him apologies. So I apologize to him every time he comes up in conversation, right? So, hey, Drake May, man, I missed it on you, man. I missed it. I did. I think I had him QB 5 or 6. He may have been. Honestly, I may have had him QB 6 behind Bo Nix. I think I had Bo Nix at 5. So I just wasn't a believer, man. I wasn't a believer. He done made me a believer now. He put it on paper, man. He put it on paper. He put it on board. He put it on the grass. And so I respect it. I ain't too big to say when I fail, man. I ain't too big for it. Hey, Drake May, dog, you got it, bro. It looks like this is a young Drake May league. Hold on. My TV timed out. Let me get that game back on. But no, Drake May's playing damn well. And I've been waiting to where I'm going to do. I did a tiered, like a power ranking as far as teams go after the first 4 weeks. And then I'm not trying to do it like every week. I want to actually, when it's done every week, I like it. I'm a junkie for all types of football content. So I watch and read everybody's list and do all that. But for myself, I want to let a little bit play out, right? So I did one at 4 weeks, which is like the quarter mark. I'll probably do an update at that 8-week mark. And then I'm thinking at that 8-week mark is where I may do some style of power ranking for like positional. And probably just the skill positions, right? Maybe quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, or maybe just quarterbacks. We'll see. I'll see how much time I have in my hands to play around. But if I had to if I was going to give you a top 5 or a top 10, Drake May's in that top 10. How he's playing ball right now, I don't know if there's 10 guys playing better ball than Drake May. I don't know if there's 10 guys playing better ball than Drake May at the position. So I had to think about that. But he's playing fantastic. That defense, man, when they've got it going, they can cause a lot of problems as well. Trayvon Henderson is very explosive. They're young back out of Ohio State as well. So I definitely expect they go out there. There's going to be a little extra juice on their sideline, of course. And I think they go out there and put it on the Titans, man, and make sure that Braves gets the last laugh, man. I got that 28-10. That's just a lot to a little. When y'all see me put 28-10, it just means a lot to a little. This could be 40-0, could be 33-7. I don't know. So I'll say 28-10, lot to a little. Patriots getting this done and exercising that revenge demon for my dog Mike Vrabel. Let's see. Vegas on the road at Kansas City, 28-13. This reminds me, same scenario. Y'all heard I just said, lot to a little. Big Gino, you know I ride with you, dog. All right, I fought for you to get them flyers because you earned it. You did. You earned it. They wrote you off. You didn't wrote back. That's a forever bar. That is a forever bar, Gino. But I ain't gonna lie, cuz since you left Seattle and went to Vegas, you done picked your pen up, bro. Ain't no other way. You done picked your pen up. You writing back now. Why? Why are you writing back? Gino, stop writing back, dog. Why are you writing back, cuz? Stop writing back. But while you writing back, this the wrong week to run in the kid. This the wrong week to run the Kansas City, man. This the wrong team to be pen pals with. You can't be writing back while you on the way to Kansas City. Now when Patty in the game is waking back up, Patty in the game started 0-2. Chargers come out 4-0, right? So, okay, here's the change in the guard that everybody in the AFC West been praying for, right? This is it. And then, no. Chargers go out there. They lose the Jackson Dart in his first career start. The Chiefs now have rattled off 4 in a row, a dominant win over the Lions. Or, not, well, dominant maybe not so far as to say dominant, but a very comfortable, right? A very comfortable win against a very a hot and dangerous Detroit Lions team. Now, you know what I'm saying? Juju took a couple lumps after the game, but y'all got that done, right? So they ran off 4 in a row, and now you got Geno coming to town. He's right back, and so this could be ugly. This one could be ugly as well, man. Especially if that Kansas City Chiefs defense is able to get their hands on a couple turnovers as well, and then Patty in the game, man, can really to really open this thing on up. Oh, and you know what? Hey, man, I know that ain't my dog. Is that my dog Keandre in the building? Come on, big dog. Hey, what's up, man? Hey, look, hey, man, let me find out Keandre just wait to show up in the show until we start talking about the Chiefs. Let me find out that Keandre just wait for the Chiefs talk to start before he chat. What's up, my dog? What's up, man? But no, so if the Chiefs, like I said, they get a couple turnovers from Geno, man, and this one could open right on up. And I was going to say, I believe this is the week that Rashee Rice is returning, correct? I think it was a 6th game, this is week 7. So I think Rashee Rice is back. And so now we'll see this Chiefs offense at full strength. This is, I think, the first time we're going to see this year this Chiefs offense as far as skill position weapons. So they'll be at full strength. And I expect them to put on, man. I think this is the perfect week for a guy like Rashee Rice to come back because this Raiders defense outside of Max Crosby doesn't have much anything going on. And so now we've got the full gamut of Rashee Rice making his return, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. You still got the two-headed 3 yards in a cloud of dust you get from Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. Y'all know his name. Travis Kelce's still out there. You know what I'm saying? No old man legs, but he's still getting it done in spurts, right? And so this is it. This is the final roster. And so this is a good week for that roster to kind of break itself in against this reeling Raiders team coming to town. So we'll see what's going on. My dog Miles said Chiefs going back on the run. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's shaping up that way. It's shaping up that way. My dog Cat said changing of the guard is crazy work. Hey, man, they was calling for it, dog. They was calling for it. No, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, Mal, you know what? And I don't know if anybody knows offhand, but, dog, depending what this Chiefs schedule looks like, I mean, yeah, man. It's looking that way. The way they looked against that Lions team, man, because it's one thing to look good, but it's like I always want to add the context. Like, okay, you should look good, you should win, but then I need the context of, well, who'd you look good against? Because looking good against the Raiders ain't the same thing as looking good against the Lions, right? Man, they look damn good against the Lions. I mean, when you treat them Lions like that, even at home, whatever you want to say, you treat the Lions like that, you can treat anybody like that, for sure. So the Chiefs look to be hitting their stride again. We'll see. Let's see. Moving on, man. Philly on the road at Minnesota. Shout out to my dog, Day One Gang Jarrell, man. His Eagles on the road. This is a big one for the Eagles, dog. I really think this is a big one for the Eagles. And you know what? Both these teams. Because we forget, the Vikings were what? 13 to 14 games winner last year, right? Before Sam Darnold, pissed the bed a little bit, man, down the stretch, and they fizzle out. But this is a Vikings team that's still clinging to like contendership, right? And it's ugly. You know what I'm saying? JJ McCarthy, your super rookie, right? Because he misses his whole original rookie season. And then he comes out, he gets injured to start this one. Carson Wentz is trying to do his best Sam Darnold impersonation and revive his career. And it's not going as smooth for Carson Wentz as it went for Sam Darnold, but they are still in the mix. And in Philadelphia, and I've said this before, Philadelphia's locker room in Miami, the Dolphins locker room, there's some similarities, man. Or you know what? Maybe I shouldn't say locker room. I'm not in the locker room. I don't want to talk like I know. I don't want to say maybe that was too strong. But there's animosities. There's animosities in the public. Maybe animosity is too strong, man. All right? God help me out. I'm struggling to find the right word. There's issues in the locker room. I'm going to say that, period. There's issues in the locker room. There's disputes at the top of the locker room, right? So quarterback, Tua, he's beating with his whole team. But I'm not going to lie, man, there's some side eyes in that offensive locker room, man, between A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, and maybe Saquon starting to feel away as well because his numbers are also taking a hit. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff on the line here, and I think now the Eagles, like I said, they're still playing competitive football. I would have to think that they're still the leader in that division, and I think they're still assumed to win that division. They are going to get a push from the Commanders now that Jaden Daniels is back, and if the Cowboys find a way to get 2 stops a game with the way that Dak Prescott's playing, and the way Dak Prescott's playing, minus CD Lamb, for one, because GP out there doing his thing, right? So if they ever find a way to get 2 stops a game, maybe these Cowboys make a push. And so there is going to be some pushback. And then I left out my dog Chops Giants. I ain't talking about the Giants and Jackson Dart and Cam Sketchabo, right? So they out there headbutting and running wild. And so, Miles, my guy, tension. That's what I was looking for. Tension. There's a lot of tension in that locker room. There we go. Shout out to my dog, man. This is why y'all the MVP, RBT fam. You feel me? Y'all the MVP, man. That's the word out. Tension, man. For sure. Tons of tension in that locker room for sure. But no, this is a big one, man. I think Philadelphia, what keeps winning, there's an old saying, right? Like, winning solves all ills, right? And for the most part, big sack on 2nd and 10. The Rams get home to Trevor Lawrence. He tried to maybe reverse pivot out and get back left. Doesn't get away from number 37 for the Rams, Lake. What's his first name? Doesn't get away from him, and he's going to lose. He's going to lose about 10 yards on that sack. So what was 2nd and 20 is probably going to be 3rd and 17 with a good sack or good safety blitz by that Rams defense. But now this is a big one. I think winning helps to stem a lot of the tension, right, from boiling over. So it's a pot that's boiling. Y'all know when you're boiling water and the bubbles, they're in the pot, but they're not yet bubbling over the rim, right? That feels like the Eagles because when you're winning, you can kind of keep it from boiling over. The problem that the Dolphins have is that you're not winning. So it's boiling over. Now Tua Tagovailoa's calling out teammates in the press conference because nobody wants to go to a meeting that he called. You know what I mean? So the Eagles aren't quite there because they're winning, but this is the type, like this could be I don't know, man, it's a very precipitous place that the Eagles in that locker room is in my mind, and I think this is a game for them that they need to win for a lot of reasons. You need to win anyway because it's Sunday and you get paid to play football on Sundays and win. So you need to win off rip anyway. It's a conference game, not a division, but it is a conference game, so you want to win as well because, we don't know how these things shake out in the tiebreakers, etc. And then also to keep the tension from boiling over. We got to keep winning, right? It's easier to work through those bumps and bruises and those headaches when we're winning. Because now when we losing, and those tensions is there bubbling under the surface, well, now maybe a couple of those rise to the top of the pot, right? And then now at this point, we start spilling over. Now we start splashing. Now we pointing fingers in the locker room. Or no, now we pointing fingers in the media to attack your mama, right? So this is why this is a big one for the Eagles in my mind, man, just for like the health of that locker room. And I'm not talking physically, I'm talking mentally, man. This is for the mental health and morale and just cohesion of that group as a team. I think this is a big one, man. They need to go out there and get a dub. And it's not gonna be an easy road, right? Because Brian Flores and that Vikings defense are gonna make it ugly for sure. But I think this game, if they play well and especially getting the win, I think this could definitely be this is definitely going to be an important game, I think, for the Eagles going forward, man, to see how they shake things out and get back on track. My dog Miles said they don't respect them. Yeah, not at all, dog. Not at all. And have y'all seen the transformation of Tua? I don't know if it's just me. Somewhere along the line, Tua went from almost like clean cut, preppy, not white, but he's not white, Polynesian boy, right? He went from kind of clean cut preppy to now he tried to get a little sauce. He got arm sleeves. You know what I mean? He got twists. You know what I mean? Like he ain't locked up, but you know what I'm saying? He didn't two-strand his hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's I don't know. Like it feels like he's hit a little switch. Maybe South Beach got to him. Maybe somebody took him to South Beach. He'd have been in Follies. You know what I'm saying? He didn't win. Somebody to turn Tua out. Man, look, now to just talk through, somebody to turn Tua out. Because Tua is a different. Go look at Tua his first 2 years at the press conference, standing at the podium. And then look at Tua now. That boy yadded. That boy locked up. Damn, you know what I'm saying? Like he's talking different. You know what I'm saying? Like he got a little swag. You know what I mean? He got a little something going on, but in doing all of that, man, he ain't tightened up his play. And so, yeah, just like my dog Miles said, man, they don't respect him, man. They definitely don't respect him. Hold on, Miles. I'm gonna put that one on the board, so I ain't got to squint when I read it. But it looked like you tried to drop a gem. So we're gonna see what my dog Miles had to say. He said, when a man loses respect for another man, it ain't nothing you can say. Man, come on, man. You preach to the choir, dog. You preach to when a man. I'm gonna say it again for you in case somebody hear you in the back. Day one game, Jarrell. What's up, man? I just shouted you out, my boy. I was just talking about your Eagles, so I'm gonna pull your Eagles back up in a minute, man. So we can let you have your say. Let me see my dog Miles say. When a man loses respect for another man, it ain't nothing you can say. It's why Russ hasn't been successful since he left Seattle. I mean, yeah, and you know what? Well, yeah. Well, I'm going to think about that. Well, because I do want to say, I do think as far as like success in the team sense, some of what happened to Russ is outside of just Russ, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do still think we have to give the context of the situations. But to your point, though, when the team doesn't necessarily respect you or see you as a leader or just be willing to follow you. Because here's the thing about it, dog. Like, you only a leader if people follow. So you can't just show up with the leader badge. If nobody's following you, then regardless of the title, you're not the leader. And so that's what's going on with Tua. That's going on with Mike McDaniels, it looks like from the outside. But that appears to be what's going on with Tua, right? And it appears like what's happened with Russ as well, right? So he was in the leadership position, but he didn't have that cachet. Like, he was the guy in front, but he wasn't the guy that guys wanted to follow, if that makes sense. But he was the guy standing in front. So everybody that stands in front ain't the leader. You dig what I'm saying? And so I do agree with you there for sure. And then, just like you said, dog, because and that's exactly right. When a man loses respect for another man, if a man don't respect you, bro, then the words you say don't mean anything, bro. So Tua, when you call a players only meeting and we don't respect you in that role or in that position, like, guys show up for the meeting. Guys show up for meetings when the leader calls. How many guys you think wouldn't have showed up to a Tom Brady led players meeting? How many? Everybody. Everybody's there. Everybody's there early. You may be more likely to go to a Tom Brady. You may be more excited to go to a Tom Brady meeting than you are to a Bill Belichick meeting. You know what I mean? Because he's the leader. You respect him. You know what I mean? So when you're the leader, when guys make, because the other guys that make you have to assign that to you. You know what I mean? I talked about it last week. You know what I mean? Like, when you're in the leadership role, and I'm gonna say it again in case some of y'all missed it, right? But when you are in a leadership role, especially in a group of men, in a game like football, right? We're gonna talk about it like this way. So when you're the quarterback, i.e., the leader, which is intended to be the leader of the team because he's an extension of the coach. He's an extension of the coach, and so he's the guy that gets imbued that style of. He gets all those extra privileges, man, because of that title and of that role, and so that we also imbue him with a sense of authority. And I say that not to mean that anybody's scared of someone else. Like, nobody's scared of Tom Brady, right? But you respect him. And so we concede some style of authority as the leader because he's the guy we chose to follow. So that's why Tom Brady can cuss you out and tell you, hey, Gronk, get your bleep over here now. And Gronk don't do nothing but say, oh, shit, man, my fault, Tom. Yeah, let's go score. Because we respect him as the leader, so we concede to him a certain style of authority. You know what I mean? So when Aaron Rodgers is cussing out Jalen Warren, like, I checked it wasn't a flea flicker. Why you giving me back the ball, right? Jalen don't feel a way about it because he's the leader. We respect him as a leader. We concede to him some style of authority. Well, nobody gave those concessions to Russ. Nobody gave those concessions to Tua. So that's why when you call the players on the meeting or you try to get on boys' neck, boys looking at you crazy like, man, hey, man, you ready to move around, bro. Because you not that guy. And so, my dog Miles made a good point here. Yeah. And then my dog Miles made a good point here. Exactly right. And then once we ain't got respect, we ain't got nothing, Playboy. We ain't got nothing. But being trained, we trains on the track. You know what I'm saying? I hope your train ain't heading my train's way. Because my train ain't stopping, Playboy. And that's how a lot of folks feel about it. Shout out to hey, man, come on, man. You know we in the building. Shout out to my dog D-Dot, man. Big Nation Business in the building, man. Come on now, dog. Thursday was a rough one, dog. Thursday was a rough one, man. I talked about it a little earlier. I ain't gonna lie. I talked about our Steelers, dog. I talked about us right out the door so I could just take my medicine early. I got it out the way. But, dog, let me know, man. Give me your thoughts on the game, man, and I'll still put them on the board, man, even though I already passed it up. But give me your thoughts, man. I want to know what you thinking. And what's the outlook? We still lead the division. We 4-2. We still lead the division. This schedule's about to get tough for us, though, man. This schedule's about to get tough. But yeah, that was a big opportunity we let slip. We let slip on Thursday, bro, for sure. Yeah, man, my dog Day One Game Jarrell said, what's up to the RBT Fam? Happy football Sunday to us all. He said he's doing good. Got a little late start this morning, but it's always good. It's always a treat when players meet. You ain't got to tell me twice. I already know what's going on. Shout out to my dog Day One Game Jarrell, man. I was actually, in matter of fact, right when you popped in, I was just breaking down y'all Eagles, and which I got to do today, man. I do got y'all winning this one. I think Brian Flores in that defense is gonna make it tough. I do think so. Brian Flores in that defense will make it tough, but I think this is an important game for you guys, man. Kind of like we were talking about, just for your overall team morale. It's a lot of tension in that locker room. It's a lot of stuff that's on the precipice of boiling out the pot, right? I talked about that some of these tensions being a pot that's boiling internally, but it ain't yet reached the rim of the pot yet, right? So this is a big one, man. I think this a win here in a y'all need a win that looks good, though, man. I think that's what y'all need. Y'all need a win where it looks good. So if y'all right now, the Eagles are set up something like the KD Steph Warriors, right? Because it's a three-headed monster. You got Steph, Clay, and KD. And so when there's tension, when they get to bumping heads a little bit, one thing that can help getting everybody on track, let's go out there, let's get a good dub, and let's get everybody drop 25 tonight. You know what I mean? Steph, get 25. Clay, go for 25. KD, go for 25. This is the type of performance we need from Philly. I think that's really what we need, man, to get Philly back going and remind ourselves, like, no, man, we can still do this. Like, it ain't too much. Like, it's almost feeling like there's too many mouths to feed is what it's feeling like, right? It's hard to feed Saquon and feed AJ. It's hard to feed AJ and feed Saquon. It's hard to get Hurts going and also keep in mind with him balancing the other two. So it's a lot of stuff going on, man. But I think a good well spread out performance, man, is the remedy that I think this Eagles team needs to kind of ease some of those tensions, and then from there capitalizing on that momentum, man, and keeping it and build on it and keeping it going. My dog said he's right on time. He said he's going 30-21 Bird game. Okay. I like it. Putting 30 points in Minnesota on that Brian Flores defense, though, dog. Putting 30 on Brian Flores in Minnesota, that might be a tall order. I ain't gonna lie. It might be a tall order. If y'all score 30, then yeah, that sounds like what I was saying maybe happened, man. It was a big day and the ball got spread around, and at least for 1 week, we can kind of turn the temperature down on that pot, man. On that pot that's trying to boil in Philly. Let me see. Carolina on the road at the Jets. Give me Carolina 23-14 in this one. The Jets are a flat-out dumpster fire. Last week in London may have been one of the worst performances by a quarterback I've ever seen, and then that gets compounded by one of the worst coaching performances than probably a lot of us have ever seen, man. And speaking about Aaron Glenn, and I hate to try to tear you down like that, Aaron Glenn. For one, you're a bruh, and we need guys like you in those positions, dog, to help continue to open up those doors. So I was happy when you got that job. I want you to find success, unless you're playing the Steelers. Other than that, man, you can do what you want to do. But that was a rough watch, let alone being a member of that team. So all told, I don't have much faith there. Carolina's coming off of a very impressive win against the Cowboys. Rico Dowdle probably played the game of his life, game of his career. And so here's the worry if you're Carolina, because you are going on the road, a Jets team that's desperate for a win, desperate to stop this bleeding, desperate. There's guys on this roster, it's week 7, guys are playing for their future. Because this roster is on the precipice of another what? They're slated to be the number 1 pick in the draft right now, right? They're 0-6. And then even if they play a little better, does anybody imagine them winning more than 4 games this year? So they're going to be a top 3 picking team this year, which means they're drafting quarterback, right? And so nobody's safe on this roster. Like, if they thought Justin Fields bringing them in this year was going to give them a backdoor chance to maybe see if they can catch a little lightning in a bottle and maybe get something going, well, that's failed. That plan has failed. And so this thing's on the verge of being torn down to the studs. Breece Hall, his 5th-year option wasn't picked up. He's a trade candidate. He may be traded at the deadline. We'll see what happens there. Garrett Wilson, they just signed him to some new money. Him and Sauce Gardner last year, but Garrett Wilson, there's talks that maybe they go ahead and move off him as well because he's not, he's maybe a little malcontent in the locker room or behind the scenes. And if so, I don't know who can fault him, who can blame him if that's the case. So we'll see what happens there. Justin Fields don't look like you with, big dog. Look like you're going to have to go the long way, man. I wanted to see you do well. I gave you a lot of slack, man. I gave you a lot of grace. Well, a lot of us did. We gave you a lot of slack. We gave you a lot of grace. We gave you a lot of, you know what I mean? We added a lot of context to your situation coming from Chicago and what you dealt with there and and then even in Pittsburgh. And we gave you a lot of slack and a lot of grace. Well, now you're 7 years in, big dog. All right? So it is what it is. You're going to have to take that long way around. You can still get to where you want to go. You can still beat Geno. Geno disappeared for 5 years or more. 5, 6, 7 years, and then pop back up when he got his shot and ball. Now, has he regressed now since he's, in the Raiders this year? Well, yeah. But it doesn't change the fact that he came back and did what he had to do after going to sit down for a little bit. Justin Fields, that may be what's in the cards for you, my boy. So this might not be the end, right? But it looks like you're gonna take a back seat. You're gonna take a back seat now for the near future, man. But Carolina, unless they go in there, sleep at the wheel, because you just had a big win, big emotional win against the Cowboys. You're going on the road to face the worst team in the league, and so we'll see. We'll see if they keep their eye on the prize, or maybe if they go in there feeling themselves and let the Jets steal one here at home. But I will take Carolina 23-14. Let's see. The Jets on the road at Denver. I went back and forth on this game. I did because Bo Nix in that offense, I don't feel great about it, man. I think there's still a lot of up and down play in Bo Nix this year. Some inconsistencies there, but that defense is fantastic. I really like that Russian duo, or more specifically Nick Bodino. I was a big Nick Bodino guy when he was coming out of Oklahoma in the draft. Was this 2021-ish, somewhere in there? I think he was a top 5 edge rusher for me for sure. And I want to say he was maybe edge 3 coming out of that draft. I was a big Nick Bonito fan. And so he's playing fantastic. I think he's leading the league in sacks right now, or he has been. He's amongst the league leaders for sure. On the other side, Jonathan Cooper, he's also a fantastic dual or combo edge, bookend edge for Nick Bonito. Shout out to my dog, Coop. He's also a good combo edge over there. They still got Tyler Noah, who found you from San Francisco. He's back in the fold and back in the mix. I think Drake Greenlaw is maybe due to come back from the PUP list or something to that effect. But and I haven't even talked about Defensive Player of the Year, random Defensive Player of the Year past 13. I ain't even said his name yet. So there's a lot of weapons on that defensive side of the ball for the Broncos. They're aggressive, they play well, and they are at home. And so maybe that's going to be too much for young Jackson Dart and his Giants to overcome. Now they've answered the bell for these last 2 weeks. And so, and I had that thought process as well. It wouldn't surprise me to see Jackson Dart outplay Bo Nix in this game. I mean, just the way Jackson Dart's been making it happen and being the spark that this team needed and finding a way for them to be viable. Cam Scatchabo running through everybody's face mask or everybody's chest every chance he gets. And so they've got some young, exciting talent there. I still hate that Malik Neighbors is out, man. This could have been imagine Malik Neighbors and Pat Surtain duking it out all game in this one, man. So I'm mad I get to miss that matchup. But in the end, I'm going with the staff. I'm going with the coaching of Sean Payton. I'm going with the defense of the Denver Broncos. And I'm going with the home team with that mile-high home field advantage. I'm taking Denver to get this done 23-20. I do think that the Giants are going to be competitive in this one. Yeah, because I haven't seen anything less. I haven't seen them not look or be competitive in any game they've played in which Jackson Dart's been the quarterback. And that's only been 2-3 weeks. If 2-3 weeks they've been competitive, won every game they've played. And so I do expect this to be I think this could be a pretty entertaining game, man. I do want to see what Jackson Dart and Cam Scatchabo look against this Denver Broncos defense as well. Let me see. Indianapolis on the road at the Chargers. This is another one, man. I went back and forth on this one. It's some good matchups because Indianapolis is rolling. They're leading at my dog Tom. They're leading his AFC South division right now. They're 5-1. Their only loss against a very competent Los Angeles Rams team. Matter of fact, a Rams team that just went for it on 4th and 1 and threw a 40-ish yard touchdown on 4th and 1 to go up 27-0 at the top of the fourth quarter. The only loss that the Colts have is to a very competent Rams team, right? And then even in that game, the Colts were in position to win, if not for A.D. Mitchell giving the ball away right before he crossed the goal line, taking 7 points off the board. And then also, A.D. Mitchell had a bad holding penalty in that same game and took a 50-yard touchdown run away from Jonathan Taylor. So that's 14 points off the board in a game that you're on the road against a Los Angeles Rams team that's very competent, right? And then a game that maybe you win if you handle your business on those two plays. And so it's a very good Colts team. Now, they are going on the road against a solid Chargers team. Now, the Chargers got off to a fire-hot start. They came out the gates. They beat my dog Keandre and my dog Miles Chiefs on the road week 1 in Brazil. They rattle off, I think, 3-4 in a row before they lose to rookie Jackson Dart in his first start. And then I think they've also lost. They're 4-2 now. I think they lost 2 in a row. Or help me out. I want to say they've lost 2 in a row. I believe they're 4-2. I don't know if it was 2 in a row or if it was lost to the Giants, a win against them I'm not thinking about, then another loss. But I want to say it's a 2-loss Chargers team. And now also a team that's beat up by the injury bug, man. So they lost Rashawn Slater right out the gate week 1, which was a massive blow. And then also week 2 or week 3, you lose Joe Alt, right? Your top 5 right tackle draft pick. You move him back to left because Rashawn Slater goes out, and then you lose him. If not for the season, then definitely for the foreseeable future. No, I think he's out for the season as well. And so they've got O-line troubles there. They're beat up in the running back room. Najee Harris, Amarian Hampton, both those guys beat up as well. And so this Chargers offense, man, is hurting right there in the middle or in the gut of that offense. And if we remember, that's where Jim Harbaugh, I had to make sure it's the right Harbaugh. That's where Jim Harbaugh likes to build his team. Jim Harbaugh's offense is an inside-out offense, right? It starts up front. It starts in the run game. And then from that, he likes to exploit the defense by using the athleticism and the big arm of his quarterback. He likes an athletic, big arm quarterback. Justin Herbert fits the mold of Colin Kaepernick, who fits the mold of Andrew Luck at Stanford, right? Who fits the mold of J.J. McCarthy at Michigan, right? An athletic, big arm quarterback who can exploit defenses behind a powerful offensive line and running game. Well, now the offensive line and the running game are in shambles due to injury, right? And so it really kind of it throws off the balance of that offense and what they want to do. Now they still do have good options at receiver. Quentin Johnston has really revived his man. Look, Quentin Johnston was on his way. He had a first class ticket to Bustville. All right, he had a first class ticket to Bustville, right? And he was on the midnight flight. He was on the red eye. He was going to get there first thing in the morning. And then he comes out this year and he's been balling, man. He's been playing his ass off. So shout out and kudos to Quentin Johnston for playing well and reviving himself. Lad McConkey still there doing his thing. They brought Keenan Allen, the OG, back. They brought him back, man, and he's he's fitting in. He's getting in where he fit in as well. So they still do have the weapons on the outside to be successful, but just the overall just kind of balance and flow of this offense is a little off, man, with the losses they suffered on that offensive line and in that running back room. So this was a tough one. I went back and forth, and then also, man, going on the road to LA, the hometown advantage can be of important matchups like this, but the Chargers don't have that, man. The Chargers are out of towners. Y'all not from, like, they ain't no love for the Chargers in LA. Not really. You know what I mean? That fan base is still based out of San Diego. And then shout out to my dog Ike Turner. You know what I mean? Because Ike's from St. Louis, I believe, and he's a Chargers fan randomly. I can't remember how he got there. But yeah, man, there's no great upswell of Chargers support in Los Angeles. So those games are tourist attractions. And so I don't think there's the playing on the road against the Chargers. It doesn't have the same. It doesn't hold the same weight as a team who might go to Kansas City, a team who might go to Baltimore, a team that might go to Seattle, right, where the home field advantage is real, where you feel it, man. You walk into the building, it's like walking to a human. It's like walking through, like, home field advantage can feel like humidity, right? And if you've ever been in a place where you can cut the air, my dog Tom's in here. This is one thing. I love Houston because it's a good time. It's good food. It's good women. It's got all those type of things. But, boy, you can cut the air with a knife sometimes. It gets so humid. You know what I mean? Like, that's how suffocating a good home field advantage can feel. The Chargers don't have that. And so now you got the Colts team coming into their building. This might as well be a neutral site because the Chargers ain't from here. Nobody in LA grew up cheering for the Chargers, man. That's not what it is. And so I think the Colts can get this done. That running game is fantastic. Shout out to Jonathan Taylor. He's having a phenomenal year. And then also Daniel Jones, man, Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes doing just enough to, showing that he can be a capable guy in this league. He's another guy who his time was almost over. You know what I mean? He was also a guy that was going to take that Baker Mayfield route, that Geno Smith route, that Sam Darnold route. He was that guy. And so now he's gotten to a situation in which he's revived himself. And honestly, he's still young enough. He's going to be the guy in Indianapolis. I would assume he's going to be the guy in Indianapolis going forward for the next foreseeable future. I want to say he's a nice quality bridge quarterback. A quarterback you can have that you can be competitive, you can win that division, and you can give yourself a chance to really win and make a push in the playoffs, right? Especially behind a strong running game with Jonathan Taylor. And then also, it delays you. Like, quarterback isn't at the forefront of your needs, right? So you can take your time. You can really build that roster because you've got a competent guy at the position that you can remain competitive with. So I think Danny Dimes is on his way to really finding and winning and earning himself a new home. And I think a win today on the road against the Chargers does a lot to do that for him. And I'm going to Colts to get this done 24-21. Now, let me see. Oh, hold on. Miles got a comment for us, man. What he say? He said he likes Indy low key, man. He said they like a dark horse. You know what? Yeah, and I feel you. That's what, like, I agree, dog. Like, they've got a good winning formula. It's not so dissimilar to, like, the best of San Francisco. Because at San Francisco's best, this is a CMAC. It's a CMAC operation, and right. And you need Brock Purdy, or you need Mac Jones, or you need Jimmy Garoppolo, or you need any of these guys. You just need a guy that could be competent at the position and not getting away. Teams like that, they don't necessarily ask the quarterback to win the game, but he just can't lose the game, right? And so the Indianapolis Colts, they kind of have that mold about it. They're not asking Danny Dimes to win anything. They're asking him, don't get in the way. Don't mess it up. And yeah, you may have to step up to the free throw line and knock a couple buckets down before the game's over. It's not a free ride, right? You still got to earn your keep. But we don't need you to drop 30. We need you to give us 18 and 8. 18 points, 8 rebounds, throw in 4, 5 assists. That's all. That's what we need. You know what I mean? And so they don't need him to go out there and drop 32. He ain't got to drop 32, 12, and 7. That ain't what they asking him to do. So no, I like it as well, man. They got the formula to be competitive and to be a hard out. But also, I don't necessarily think that's not enough to necessarily get you over the edge. But it does get you in that room. It does. And then once you get there, man, all bets is off. But no, I agree. I say all that to say I agree. Oh, what my dog Keandre said. Hold on, he said we should add a fantasy add and drop segment to the Wednesday show. Oh, let me think about that. Keandre. I'll chew on that. I'll chew on that. And you know what? Because I like fantasy. I play fantasy. I'm not as immersed in fantasy as maybe I used to be. Like I ain't gonna lie, man. You know, doing the show and doing this stuff, I mean, it takes a lot of time, man. I ain't gonna lie, 2 shows a week by yourself, man. You know, your dog be trying to. I be trying to do what I can do to make it a fun time for everybody, man. When y'all come holler at me, dog. So my fantasy involvement has waned. You know what I'm saying? I'm in one league. I'm in one throwback league with my partners, and that's it. I used to be back in the day, you know, I was a guy, I had 4, 5 leagues. I had money spread across all 4, 5. Now I just got one league that I'm pretty passive in, you know, just playing, passing the time, having fun with some of my old college homeboys. But you know what, man? I'm going to think about that, dog. I'm going to think about that. And shout out to my dog William White, man. I don't know if you're in here this morning, bro, but my dog William White, he's actually got something in the works, and it's not my news to share. It's not my news to drop, man. But he did holler at me, man. But he's got something in the works as well, man. That's gonna have a strong fantasy flavor to it as well. But man, yeah, man, I might I'll think about that, Keandre, man, and see it. Like, now I can't promise you how deep into it I can get. I can't promise you I can get too deep. But you know, maybe something fun and light, and just maybe some you know what, man? I'm gonna think about that. Man. We'll find a way. I'll find a way to work on that, or to put something together that works, man. I appreciate you too. I appreciate this. Why you the captain of the ship, man. This why you the captain of the ship, man. You the captain of the ship because you worried about where we going. You know what I'm saying? My dog said, "Hey, man, let's make sure we got to get to where we got to go to." You know what I'm saying? We might want to turn left up here, bro. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm gonna think about that though, Keandre, man. I'm gonna get back to you, bro. I'm gonna think about that and try to flesh that out and see realistically like what that might look like, or what I can offer like in that space. You know what I'm saying? And see if I can put something together, man. And I'll circle back around to that. Shout out to my dog Keandre, man. My dog Tom said Indy might not make the playoffs. I don't know, man. No, they look like they look like. I mean, well, you know what? In fairness, you right, because this division is competitive. Now the Jaguars, they're losing this one, right? But they are still in the mix in this division. I don't think anybody's ran away from each other. I think the Jaguars are 4-2. Now they are about to lose. They look like they're about to lose this game to the Rams. They just failed on this onside kick recovery attempt. They had a shot at it. Their guy, he couldn't rally the ball in, and the Rams ended up getting it. So they're down 28-7, 9 minutes left in this fourth quarter. So this is probably an L, right? But it's still early, but they're competitive. The Colts are the team that are in the position to kind of separate themselves because they're 5-1, and so a win today at 6-1 would put them 2 full games over the Jaguars. And then my dog Tom's Texans, I think, are y'all 3-2? Help me out, Tom. I think my dog, are y'all 3-2? I think y'all did y'all have y'all bye week? I think y'all had a bye week as well. So I think y'all a game behind like my Steelers. I think y'all 3-2. Let me know. But no, in fairness, it is still early. The Colts do have an early lead, but we midway through the second quarter of the season. You know, we ain't even at halftime. You know what I mean? So there's still a lot of games to play. And so we'll see. My dog Tom is right now. He's right. The second half of this season, we don't know. It's still a lot early, but they are firmly in the mix. That's fair. Oh, okay, I see what you got going. Okay, yeah. My dog Karen said he got one. Okay, yeah, help us, on slow. Okay, yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Okay, no, I like that. And honestly, 2-3. I don't know why I thought y'all was 3-2. I thought, wait, y'all beat the no, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. Cause y'all lost to the Rams at the door, and then okay, yeah, you're right. 2-3, not 3-2. Okay, 2-3. He said they haven't played it, but they played the Rams in L.A. Come on, man, they played the Rams in L.A. That's a quality opponent on the road, and a game they should have won. A game they were in position to win. I'll say that they had a big penalty that took a touchdown off the board, and they had just a boneheaded play where just they gave a touchdown away. That's 14 points. You know what I mean? Against a quality Rams team. So they played the Rams as a quality opponent for sure. Y'all both played the Rams. Yeah, y'all both played the Rams, and I think y'all both played the Rams close. I think when y'all lost that game to the Rams, it was a lower scoring game, wasn't it? That's what I was gonna say. I think it was a lower scoring game for sure. But if we judging the performances against a like opponent, I would say they performed better. I'll say that. Yeah, y'all both did lose. Yeah, y'all both did lose. That's fair. That's fair. That is fair. Let me see, where's we at? Oh, here we go. Now this one, Washington at Dallas. This is a shootout. All right, the sirens should be blaring. And honestly, if these teams were, this could have been a game of the week style of matchup. And I say that just for excitement's sake. This is gonna be a boat race, man. I went up and down. This game could be 40-35. 35-31 is where I settled. 31-28. I think there's going to be a lot of offense in this game, and I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. Dallas is going to score. Now, can they get the 1 or 2 stops that they may need to hold on and win the game? That's yet to be seen, but I do think that points defense is going to be at a premium in this one. 2 stops in this game may be enough to win the game. Because I think both these offenses are going to be able to move the ball relatively at will against each other's defense. And so this is the type of game where the points are going to fly. The points are going to be scored. Whose defense can get those 2 second half stops when the other team goes down and finds a way to get a 3 or get a 7? That's going to be the difference in this game. Now, I say all that to say, okay, I know that's what I said. But I'm still taking Dallas. I don't expect Dallas to get any stops. I don't necessarily expect Dallas to get much of any stops in this one. But I do think that maybe at home with the way Dak and GP are playing. My dog Miles said Debo got ruled out. Or he's still out. I think he's been out. No, and that's fair too. Washington does have some injuries. Ooh, you know what? Shout out to my dog Miles, man. Shout out to my dog Miles. You right. Now I got to think about it. So, Miles, am I giving Washington too many points? Is that what you're telling me? Am I giving Washington too many points? They still got Bill McCroskey married. You know what I'm saying? Homeboy, Ja'Cory Krosky married. He prefers Bill. They got Bill married out there still toting that hoe. And we seen what Rico Dowdle just did last week to that Dallas defense, just at will gashing them. And so in my mind, I'm thinking that Bill Merritt is gonna he could be the difference for Washington, and for one, taking some of that pressure off of Jaden and easing some of that burden, because you're not going to have a Debo, right? So what Debo's going to give you is, that versatility. He's an extension of the run game in the passing game, right? And so now, like a 3-yard dump to Debo, which may give you 9 yards, 7 yards, you know what I mean? Like that, those are 2nd and 2s and 2nd and 3s that would otherwise be 2nd and 8s or 2nd and 7s. And those things don't always pop up, or we don't always recognize those at the end of the game, but during the ebb and flow in the course of the game, those are big. Like those are big moments, man, that really just keep drives alive. Just so often, man, we see drives just flat out just stall and die because we can't. Like and especially in those early downs, you got to find a way to win 4 yards. You got to find a way to win 6 yards in an early down, and that's the type of thing Debo does. A little quick 2-yard dump off gets you to 2nd and 8, and you know what I mean. And that just, like, doing that over and over throughout the course of the game, series after series, man, it just really makes the flow of the offense that much easier. And so now he's out. So that's a good observation from my dog Miles. But then also that's why I was getting back to Bill Mikowski, Merritt, man, homeboy got some names, man. Getting back to Little Bill, right? Getting back to Little Bill in Washington, who's playing his ass off, man. He's playing damn good, and so I think this is a good game for him to get his Rico down along. That's what I'm thinking. This is a good game for him to get his Rico down along, and I think he can really keep the flow of that offense moving and help to keep Jaden from just having to do all the heavy lifting. But then on the other side, though, man, GP is showing his you know what, man. GP playing lights out. Dak Prescott playing lights out as well. Is CD back? When is CD Lamb coming back? Is CD Lamb expected back? Somebody let me know. CD's been out for like 4 weeks, and they ain't missed him. They ain't missed him on the offense. GP been doing his thing for sure. Where my dog Chop at, man? Because Chop, I tried to tell your ass. I tried to tell you, but it's all good. But nah, man, GP balling. But I think CD, if CD's not back this week, then maybe he's weak. I thought CD was due back as well. And so now you got me. Now you got me questioning my pick, Miles. See, now you got me questioning. Ertz is also questionable. Now, I know Terry's out because Terry's been out for the last couple weeks. But he was trying to come back. I know earlier to start the week, it was thought that he might be able to play, but then, they went here and ruled him out. So I know Terry's out. Ertz is questionable, but I think Ertz is going to play. He said they're going to have 8 in the box. Shit, they had 8 in the box in Carolina. Rico Dowdle ain't care nothing about that. I don't expect Bill McCroskey to care about that. Yeah, they had 8 in the box. They had 8 in the box last week. Okay, CD's back. So that's what I was thinking, yeah. And that's where I end up giving the edge. That's why I end up giving the edge because I don't have no faith in Dallas' defense to stop us whole. I don't have no faith in that. But the way Dak and GP already been airing out and playing and dominantly as far as the offense goes, and now CD's also coming back. And so I think that is where I end up giving the edge to Dallas in this one, even though I don't expect their defense to do much but try to slow down Washington. But I am going with Dallas 35-31 at the crib. And now also with CD being back, I want to see, let's see how this offense shakes out. So I know what the first 2 games of the year with CD and GP did play together, it was GP still finding his own footing and trying to figure out, him and Dak trying to figure out each other's games and how they're going to mesh. And so CD getting injured was honestly a blessing in disguise because it really allowed this Cowboys team and this Cowboys offense to fully vet out and see what it is that GP has to offer and what he can bring to this offense. And he showed up aces. You know what I'm saying? He showed up aces. He's like, look, man, don't worry about how I do it. Don't worry about how it looks when I do it. Give me the ball, and I'll make something happen. Give me the ball upfield, and I'll make somebody pay. You know what I'm saying? Because when you see him running and hurdling guys, he's holding the football like this while he's jumping all gangly. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily look graceful, but I tell you what, it works. So you can throw on the ball with 2 dudes on him, 40 yards up the field, he's going to get that. Okay? You can give him the ball on a deep crosser, 30 yards up the field, he's going to get that. And then he's going to hold the ball crazy. He's going to hurdle somebody like he's trying to shake somebody in freeze tag, and then he's going to run another 30 yards to the end zone because he can go get that. Okay? So now with this version of GP on 10, now I want to see what this offense looks like now that CD Lamb comes back in, right? And so, how do we, are we able to still, because we don't want to slow down or stop what we got going on with GP. We don't want to do that. We don't want to stop that. So now, right, how do we work CD back in? Because also he's missed, 4 or 5 weeks? So getting him back in, getting his legs back under him, reintegrating him into this offense, because this offense has flowed and operated completely different than it has and as it does through CD, because CD isn't that type of guy. CD is a volume slot receiver, bro. There's nothing wrong with that, but he's a volume slot receiver, intermediate and across the middle. You know what I mean? Or short hitters and smoke screens, things like that. This is what he does, and so that's how, by extension, that's one of the things that's limited this offense, because you can crowd those areas of the field and make it tough and make it difficult and really condense those areas for Dak to try to get him the ball, because nobody is taking the top off the defense. Well, GP, We haven't seen this type of offense from Dak Prescott or these Cowboys in the last 6 years because they haven't had that guy. They tried to get that guy with an older Brandon Cooks. It didn't work. They tried to draft that guy with Michael Gallup coming in. It didn't work. This is what they've been looking for, right? GP, a guy that when the ball is 10 feet in the air, 60 yards up the field, he's the only guy I can come down with. And that's what this offense is now. So this is a completely different offense than we've ever seen from Dak Prescott in his offense, right? Because Dak couldn't mesh, didn't mesh, and these are early returns, but like Dak wasn't as effective throwing the ball deep to Dez Bryant up the field like Tony Romo was. So even Dak with Dez, who was a legitimate up the field, downfield threat, and a guy that can go get it from the fifth floor when everybody else can't get that high, like Dez had that, but Dak and Dez never really fully got on they didn't really mesh as well as I've seen from Dak and GP 5 weeks, these last 4 or 5 weeks while CeeDee Lamb's been out. So that's a little long-winded way around saying I expect Dallas to win this shootout at the crib, 35-31. This is gonna be an exciting game. If you enjoy offense and a lot of points, and if you're not in the mood to see defense, normally that's not my cup of tea. But this one, yeah, I want to see this one. I want to see this one, man. And so I think Dallas holds on and wins this shootout with CD's first game coming back. Hey, Jarrell, cuz, I didn't make it up. He said Lil Bill. I didn't make it up. That's his nickname, bro. That's why he goes by Bill. And I didn't know where it came from because I'm a junior. My daddy's name is William. You know what I'm saying? My daddy, shout out to my pops, man. My daddy, his name was Dollar Bill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you knew my daddy outside, it was Dollar Bill, bro. You know what I mean? So, like, his daddy name was William. His daddy went by Bill, and so they call him Little Bill because his pops. I was thinking something like that. He said, nah, man. He was just an ugly-ass little kid that looked like Lil Bill the character, and so they started calling him Lil Bill, and it stuck. So he goes by Bill, man. He goes by Bill. I didn't make it up. He said it. He said it, man. Lil Bill. For sure. Man, and you know what? I said that in jest. I didn't mean to say he's an ugly-ass little kid. Man, I'm just talking. Y'all know I'm just talking sometimes, man, just having fun. But that's where he got it from, bro. That cartoon. I guess he used to look like Lil Bill when he was little, and that name stuck. So it's a man that chooses to go by Bill when he could go by Jacory. It's his name. Now, my name is William. I've never wanted to be called Bill. I do not like Bill. I don't even understand how we get Bill from William anyway. William, Will with a W. Where'd the come from? I've never understood that nickname. Why is William Bill? I don't. Somebody explain to me. I don't know. But be that as it may, he likes Bill. Hey, man said his name is Bill. I'm calling Bill. I ain't gonna call him. Man said his name is Bill. I'm calling Bill. His mama named him Clay. Somebody called him Clay. No, I ain't gonna call him Clay. I call him Mohammed because I don't want to put his hands on me. His mama named him Cassius. He called himself Mohammed. Man's name is Muhammad Ali. All right, y'all. If y'all seen Come to America, when a man changes his name, he has the right to change it. Yeah, it's a whole scene, man. If you don't know, you're in the wrong place. All right, if you don't know, you're in the wrong place. Man said his name is Bill. I'm calling Bill, man. Man said his name Bill. I'm gonna call him Bill. Oh, come on, they want you ain't Jarrell. Don't make me think about it, dog. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying, dog. That's what I'm saying. I understand why we did it, but still, man, it hurts, dog. It still hurts to this day. It still hurts to this day, man. I miss him. All right, I said it. There, I said it. D-Dot, if you're in the building, I know you got to feel the same way. I miss him, dog. Come on, GP. Miss you, dog. I'm glad you balling, cuz. I'm still cheering for you. I still want you to have success. Unless your team's playing my team. For sure. For sure. Let me see. I'm gonna have to pick it up a little bit too, y'all. We getting pretty close. We got about 20 minutes, man. So I'm gonna pick it up. We almost at the end of the road anyway. So I'm gonna burn through these next ones, man. Green Bay at Arizona. I'm not gonna lie. Jacoby Brissett played his ass off last week, man. And that offense honestly looked a lot better. And that offense looked a lot more comfortable last week, honestly, with Jacoby Brissett back there instead of Kyler Murray. And so now they are at home against Green Bay. Green Bay is a team I feel like they just haven't reached their potential. Green Bay feels like a team that really should be toward the forefront of this league as far as like hierarchy. They've got tons of studs on that defense. I like the weapons that they have. on the outside is more a sum of the parts, or a sum of the group than any individual part. But I like what they got going on. Matt LaFleur, he's shown himself to be a capable coach. I really like the talent of Jordan Love, but they still just haven't like settled. They still just haven't stepped into the team that I think they can be. So I thought it has a chance to upset them in this game, man. I'm not gonna lie. So I just had some type of feeling. But I knew better than to go with it because I was like, if I call for them to get the upset, Green Bay will win this game by 2 touchdowns. So I was like, you know what? Stick this, play it straight. I'm taking Green Bay on the road, 24-20. I did have it a closer game, just because I don't know. I liked what we saw from that Cardinals offense last week with Jacoby Brissett, and they are at home this week. Atlanta on the road at San Francisco. Give me San Francisco 27-23. San Francisco completely battered and destroyed, man, in the injury report card, and much like they've been for this entire Shanahan run. And this is what this is what we don't think about, man, and what history oftentimes forgets, or we just move past it, is this Niners team was on the precipice of multiple championships for like 8 years. And so for 8 years, they were a top 3 team in the league. Did they go to 3 Super Bowls? Jimmy went to a Super Bowl. Brock went to a Super Bowl. No, and then they went to another NFC championship game. Ooh, excuse me. They went to another NFC championship game. And I think they've been to 2 Super Bowls, and I want to say 3 NFC championship games. So out of the 8 years or so that I want to say Shanahan's been there for, has it been like 8 years, roughly? I want to say 5 out of those 8 years, they were on the precipice of a Super Bowl, either appearance or victory. And they end up not getting any. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that's just, it's one of those things, man. It's not as bad as the Bills, because history forgets like, we look at the Bills, I'm not like the Browns, but we look at the Bills probably closer to like the Lions or something. We forget, like, bro, they went to 4 Super Bowls in a row. Didn't win none. But who's ever went to 4 Super Bowls? My Steelers in the 70s didn't go to 4 in a row. Tom Brady and his Patriots, they didn't go to 4 in a row. They won 3 in a row. They didn't go to 4 in a row. So 4 in a row, bro. And didn't win any of them. And now they just another team, that's just an anecdote in history. You know what I mean? It gets forgotten. And so we'll forget just how talented and how consistent these San Francisco teams were, even in the face of all these injuries. Because during this whole time, when they've been contenders and been on the precipice of these Super Bowls, they've dealt with these injuries all throughout. I mean, massive injuries. And even, like, I mean, to the top guys. Quarterbacks out, star running backs out, star left tackles out, star tight ends out, star defensive end pass rushers out, star middle linebackers out, star safeties out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've lost the tip of their spear in a lot of these years, and still, like, found a way to keep that window open and alive for so long. And now it finally looks like it's that time is probably past. I think, last year I think was the end of that. And then even coming back this year with the injury, they're still competitive in spurts. But yeah, man, it's just one of those what could have been, man. It's one of those what could have been. And there was some of those games were there for the taking. Kyle Shanahan could be a 3-time Super Bowl winning head coach. You know what I mean? He could have a 4th ring as an offensive coordinator in Atlanta. So it's just, just those little things like that just get forgotten by history, man, as time marches on. But I do think they get this dub. I say all that to say, I do think they get this dub against Atlanta, who's coming into their building 27-23. Let me see. Monday Night Football, man, it's the game of the week. I did all this talking just not getting to the game of the week, because it's Monday Night Football, Tampa Bay at Detroit. This one I went back and forth on as well. MVP Baker is making making sweet tea out of SHIT. And I just don't know how much longer it can last, especially in this game going on the road to Detroit. Now, Detroit, who got a bad taste in their mouth for getting embarrassed last weekend, you took a loss, and then you won a fight at the end of the game, but then you took another loss in media and perception even after that. So Detroit reeling after another loss to Kansas City. They're eager and anxious, I'm sure, to redeem themselves, and now they get a chance to do that at the crib on Monday night. Now, the team and opponent that's coming into the building, Big Bad Baker Mayfield, you know what I'm saying? He's not going. Baker's not going. Baker Speaking of injuries, he's having this. And honestly, I haven't ranked or put out anything about this yet. But in my mind, like, who's got a better MVP case right now than Baker Mayfield, dog? Who? Who's got a better MVP case than Baker Mayfield? I don't know. I think they're 5-1, or they 5-2. No, they're either 5-1 or 4-2. But I think all 4 or 5 of their victories, they've been down in the fourth quarter, and they've had to come back and win those games. And Baker's risen to those occasions, and he's done it without his top 3 and now 4 receivers on his roster. Like, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like the plays that he's making as well, like it's not all like blown coverages and hitting the right spot in a blown. Like, no, he's going to get into some of these at the mud. Scrambling on 3rd and 17, breaking 2 tackles, diving face first for first downs, getting up and getting in the face of a safety who just tried to kill him. You know what I'm saying? And then using that to rally and go get the tub, and we can get out here with the dub. So Baker Mayfield's playing his what off, man. And so I think right around week 8, man, I think when we get to the halfway point, I'm going to do some other power rankings and go more in depth into like some player rankings on how things are standing. But right now, today, right here on the spot, right here talking to the RBT fam, if y'all had to ask me, who's got a better case than Baker Mayfield, dog? I don't know. My dog Day One Game Jarrell says Stafford in that MVP talk as well. I'm not gonna lie. Stafford's playing good ball. That Niners game was rough. And now I don't know if I put Stafford in there with Baker. I think there's a couple names I would get to before Stafford. He's playing relatively well. He's still inconsistent, and his accuracy is a little bit. I've been calling it out. And shout out to my dog Chop, man, because every time I'm watching the Rams, I always holler at him. But for whatever reason, Stafford and Devontae, they don't always. That connection isn't smooth yet. Like, they haven't got on the same page like Dak and GP have just yet. Now, Stafford did just throw Devontae Adams a fourth quarter touchdown. The game's already it's a garbage time touchdown, to tell you the truth. I mean, it was already 28-7 or whatever, so it might be 35-7 now. He got him a touchdown. But in a lot of these big games, in the Niners game, in the Eagles game, right? And in the Colts game, like, there's a lot of bad misses from Stafford to Adams. Some of them, maybe they're one guy saw left, the other guy threw right. So some of that's just familiarity and that sort of thing. And then some of it is Stafford's airmail, just some of these as well, man. So he's just missed them. So I don't necessarily think Stafford's playing as clean as he's not necessarily playing as clean as ball, but they are playing and performing well for the most part for sure. But now I would give, if it's going to be one or the other, I'm taking Big Baker Mayfield. And don't forget as well, Matt Stafford's doing it with two top 10 style receivers with Puka Nacua and Devontae. Now, Puka's been a little banged up, but he's been in more so than he's been out, and he still has that same kind of core group of weapons around him. Baker's playing left-handed a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, Baker's playing a little left-handed with his weapons being hurt or injured or missing, and then having a lot of unheralded guys. Cam Johnson caught 2 touchdowns last week. I have no idea who that kid is. You know what I mean? Like, Tez Johnson from Oregon, he caught a 45-yard game-winning touchdown, his only catch of the day last week as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, Baker's doing it with these type of guys, man. And I think we gotta give him his due, man. That's MVP, man. That's MVP, big bad Baker Mayfield, man. And I say all that to say, Baker Mayfield, he's won a big game in Detroit. So I don't think being in Detroit is the difference maker here, because big bad Baker Mayfield, he took his big bad ass up to Detroit last year in the playoffs, right? And that wasn't a playoff game, because the Lions lost to the Commanders in the playoffs. But last year in the regular season, that's what it was. They went to Detroit, and they came back and won. They came back and won that game, I believe. No, that one didn't go to overtime. But he got a win on the road in Detroit in a shootout just last season. So he's familiar with that venue. He's familiar with that atmosphere, and he's won there. But I think it's a tall order, man, to keep asking him or expecting him to still make these miracles happen, and especially with a team like Detroit at home on Monday night, who's going to be extremely motivated because they just took an L. They just took a spanking, man. And so now they're fired up and more motivated than ever to go. And it's more consciously on their mind to not drop two in a row. And especially you don't want to drop two in a row, one of them being Monday night at home. And you don't want to lose to you don't want all your losses to start to look like you just can't play with the best teams in the league. They got a loss to Green Bay week 1, and it was a dominant loss or dominant win by the Packers. They got a loss to Green Bay week 1. Well, Green Bay's a competent opponent. You got a loss to Kansas City in Kansas City, right? So, it's a loss, but you don't have to feel away. You don't that's a stout opponent. So a loss there isn't, it's not the end all be all. Like it's a tough one on the road you lost. So now a third loss to a third quality opponent, this one at the crib, and then now maybe I got to start looking at you. Now I got to start diving back in or taking a second look like, wait a minute. Are you still that team of destiny, right? You've lost both coordinators, they're head coaches now, and you've lost a couple pieces here and there, but you're still at the core. You're still that team that's been that team of destiny. Is that still in the cards for you guys? Are you still that team, or are you now just a team that beats bad teams? Like, you know what I mean? I think this team is a nice gut check game. I think this Tampa Bay team is a nice gut check game for these Lions that just kind of reassert or just to kind of just reestablish ourselves like, nah, we still one of these ones you got to take serious. We still one of these ones that are in that January conversation. And I think this is a chance for them to redeem that Kansas City loss and go out and get a good win against a very good and talented opponent in Big Bad Baker Mayfield's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But so I'm going Detroit 30-27. I can't wait to see this. This is going to be a good Monday night game, man. That's going to be a good Monday night game. I can't wait to see what Baker does on the road without all those weapons, man, against this Lions team that's going to be fired up as well. So I can't wait to see that one. That's why it's the game of the week. And then last but not least, we have the second Monday night doubleheader. I hate these damn doubleheaders, but shout out to my dog, Terrible Time. His Houston Texans are going on the road to Seattle. I'm taking Seattle at home, man. Seattle's one of those places. Seattle is a legitimate home field advantage. That's a hard place to play. That's a hard place to play. That Seattle defense, I like what Mike McDonald's doing there with that defense, the way they fly around. And then also, Sam Darnold's playing top 5 quarterback in this league right now. Sam Darnold is playing top 5 quality quarterback ball in this league right now. Jackson Smith and Jigba is playing top 3 wide receiver ball in this league right now. You know what I mean? So, they've got a lot of stuff cooking. Offensively and defensively, they still know how to get after you as well. And so it's a tall order on the road for a Houston Texans team, man, with the struggles they have at offensive line, the inconsistencies they get in that running game as well. And so I think this is a tough one. Now that Texans defense, like my dog Tom was saying, they've got some guys on that defense side of the ball. And so can Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, can they wreck this game? That's what I think if Houston goes on the road to Seattle on Monday night and they get this dub, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter have to be a big part of that by not only getting home against Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold is spinning it, boy. I'm telling you right now, Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jibba up the field is a thing of beauty right now. So getting pressure with your 2 stud edge rushers is imperative in this one as well. And then also on top of that, they've got 2 quality backs, right? They've got quality backs. Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet is a nice heavy-handed 1-2 punch as well. And so can that defense is definitely got to stand up in that running game for sure to make sure that they don't make it easy for Sam Darnold to get play action up the field to Jackson Smith and Jibba. So you've got to be strong and stout against that running attack with Walker and Charbonnet. And then when Mike McDonald in that offense, when they do try to dial it up, you got to get home with the guys up front, with Will Anderson, with Danielle Hunter. And so it's a lot on that Houston Texans defense's plate that they'll have to do to keep this one, to keep them in this fight. And then the offense is going to have to really they've obviously have to step up, man. I think the defense is going to do enough to kind of keep them in reach for, like, let's say the first half of this game, but then how long does that last? Like, can the Houston Texans offense balance out the effort on the defense and not let them just wear down in the second half of this game, and where Seattle's able to kind of spread it out? That's where I kind of see happening. I think Houston's defense maybe gets worn out because they're not getting a lot of balance from the offense, and then we get into the second half of this game and we see Seattle maybe hits that deep one. They hit that big double move to Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? And so he gets a big double move in the second half of this game, and now a game that may have been, let's say if the game is 17-10 at this point, well, now it's 24-10. Right. And now, and now it changes the dynamic for Houston as well, because now they have a sense of urgency. And so now they have to lean more into a weakness, because now we do got to put the ball in the air because we're running out of time. We've got to find a way to get back in this game. And now Seattle and Mike McDonald in that defense, they get to dial it up. They get to move all those pieces around, and they get to come after you, which is what they want to do anyway. And so it's a tall order for Houston on the road in Seattle. And so I'm taking Seattle to get this one done 27-20. Let me see what we got in the chat. JSN, thank you, bro. I don't know why I said that man whole government name. Goodness, I don't know why. I don't know what made me say that man government name, dog. But I did. But yeah, shout out to my dog, Jackson Smith. Come on, cuz. Shout out to my dog, Day One Gang Jarrell. I don't know, man. I was like, I know he got a nickname. That's what's in my head. I was like, I know cuz got a nickname. I was like, why was I blanking on his name? I had to say that man whole government. I don't know when the last time anybody said that whole three-piece. JSN. There we go. JSN for sure, man. But hey, that's it. That's all. That's all. We came, we saw, we conquered. We went through every single game on the slate for Sunday's action. In conclusion, the London game, the Rams did just finally, finish off that game. They win 35-7 in that one. This is a pretty one-sided affair. It was 21-0 at halftime. The Jaguars, they had a couple opportunities, but but they just couldn't capitalize. Punt return, touchdown, called back on a penalty, missed field goal, a failed fourth down conversion in scoring range. And so they had a few opportunities, but they weren't ever really a threat to the Rams in this one, and they do lose. But before we get out of here, it's time for that real member roll call, man. Let's see who was in the door today. My dog, Day One Gang Jarrell, man, hold me down as always, man. I appreciate your homeboy. My dog, Miles in the building as well. Hey, I appreciate your homeboy. Oh, man, hold on. I missed a comment in here. Who's this? John Helton. John, hey, what's up to your homeboy? I missed your comment. He said, if the Fire Stick boys are in the building, John said, let me help you out. John dropped a couple of suggestions for y'all who may be struggling to find your team on your local TV stations. And so if you one of them Fire Stick boys, he's got something for you there. So I appreciate you, John Helton. Appreciate you coming through and hollering at us this morning, man. I hope you hit that like, share, and subscribe button before you vacate the premises. And if you are still in here, homeboy, tell me where you from and tell me what your team is, because I can make you one of them members, big dog. But I appreciate you. Shout out to John Helton in the building this morning. Then let me see who else is in this thing. Man, my dog, Terrible Tom Walker, in the building, holding it down for those Houston Texans. He came through and hollered at me this morning as well. I appreciate your homeboy. My dog, Keandre, man, Cat Mothership was in the building as well. I appreciate your homeboy. And let me see, I'm looking for you. Hey, man, come on now. My dog, D-Dot in the building, man. Big Nation business in the building, man. Shout out to my dog, D-Dot, man. I appreciate you as always, homeboy. I'm looking for you. Wait a minute. I know Sis is in the building. There we go. I got to find you. I ain't going to get out of here. Sis is in the building as well. I appreciate you as always. And also, Mount Dukes is in the building as well. I appreciate y'all. And then I'm going to try to give one last scan and see if I can find you. Damn. Well, we say the same thing every week. Feel free to say it with me at home. If I forgot to say your name, damn, for real? Hey, my bad. but charge it to my head and don't charge it to my heart. You know I'm thinking about your big dog. I appreciate all the love support as always, man. Y'all know why we do it. Y'all know why we here. Like to get in here, have a little fun, talk a little ball with the gang, and then get in here and do what we do, man. So appreciate everybody coming through, man. Appreciate y'all getting up this morning, giving me some of that time. And now, if you didn't know, let me let you know now. You got 2 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes to tell the wife and kids to get out your way and find something to do. Find your favorite spot on your favorite couch. You put your favorite adult beverage in your favorite hand. You turn your favorite team on your favorite TV, and you sit back, you lock in, and you enjoy your Sunday morning. Good luck to you and your team, unless your team is playing my team. But other than that, y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Wednesday, 7 o'clock, tap in. We right back like we left something. Until then, y'all be safe. Y'all have fun. Enjoy your Sunday kickoff. Peace.